right, if you've been looking for a 200 series LX570, I'm going to tell you briefly why you should buy this one. First of all, this is a one-owner car. It's been in Florida since new, the Sarasota area. It has been serviced at Lexus of Sarasota all the way up until I bought it. Lots of good service has been done recently that I'll go over here briefly. And it's probably the most popular color combination that I sell. You might think at this point mostly men are buying these. Not true. And most people want the parchment interior. So again, one owner car, black on parchment, been in Florida since new, Lexus service history all the way through. This is a good choice. And look, I'm not a black car guy personally, and that's because I've been around black cars for 20 plus years and I know how difficult they can be to maintain. If I was gonna buy a black car, and I'm not just saying this would be the car. This car is in phenomenal condition, very little touch up, and we'll go over that here once we get the car outside. But just wanted to give you my thoughts on this. There's gonna be a lot of value on this car, right around 30 grand. Does have, again, going back, it's a 2013, 161,000 miles on it. And again, it's gonna be priced right around 30 grand. So a lot of value here, I see. Few little bullet points I wanna hit real quick. The car was just serviced prior to my acquisition of it. You can see that on the Carfax. I still took the car, and I'm gonna take pictures of this for the listing so you'll see this. I still took the car to my local Toyota dealership to have them just inspect it, make sure there weren't any oil leaks, anything that I couldn't see, and it checked out really, really well. They didn't, and again, there will be a picture of this on my website. There was nothing that they mentioned that needed to be done. They called the front and rear brake pad thickness at 8mm, which 10 being new. So those are recently, excuse me, been replaced. And the tires measure out at 8/32, and I can say that I did measure them myself, and they are 8/32, and you'll see that here in a second. But going back briefly, the most relevant, I thought, anything over 4 years old, I didn't really want to include, but this is from January 2020, before the world changed. Car had 111,000 miles on it. They replaced the serpentine belt. Both differentials and the transfer case and the transmission were flushed. May of 2022, the car had 135,000 miles on it. Spark plugs were done, and the power steering fluid flush was done. These aren't the only things that were done at these mileages. These are just the important ones that I thought that I would mention. May of 2023, car had 146,000 miles on it. Front brakes were replaced, which makes sense with the inspection sheet the Cherokee Toyota noticed, and a resurface was done on all four rotors as well. In April of 24, so just a few months ago, car had 158,000 miles on it, so 3,000 miles ago. Both differentials again were flushed. Transfer case was flushed again, and they did do a brake fluid flush and a fuel treatment cleaner. So again, lots of good detailed service history with this car, which again, for value reasons, this screams it. So let me show you what comes with the car. We'll do our normal thing in here, pull it outside, and we'll see what we got. All right, so let's take a look at what comes with the car, and we will start all the way over here. I have this open, obviously. We have a Lexus first aid kit that's never been opened, still zip tied. And you have your jack right there. So everything as far as first aid kit and jack are intact. Here is our toolkit. We don't have any tools missing. Everything intact, and from what I can tell, very little use. See a little bit of wear right there, but nothing major. Everything is intact, most importantly. So we do have our wheel lock here, so that's obviously important. Here's the little inspection sheet that I got from Toyota, where they just go through and do a general maintenance inspection. And again, I had them just check for oil leaks, and everything checked out great on the car. As you see, brakes are all at 8mm front and rear, and same with the tires as far as 8/32. So original window sticker. Any guesses? Any guesses? Any guesses? we have a total of $89,921 with roughly, what did it say? $8,000 in options. Does have a luxury package. The only thing it looks like it does not have is adaptive cruise control, which in my opinion is a good thing. So full set of books, all the original cards from when the car was bought new, obviously the Bible most importantly. And then lastly, if this gives you any kind of idea of the person who owned this car, I found paper maps. I mean, I remember my dad used to take us on vacation. We would use paper maps like 30 years ago. So, just something I found that I thought I'd throw in there, probably give you a good idea of who the previous owner was. So, let me get all this mess cleaned up, and we'll get going on the monitors and suspension. Let me know in the comments who prefers the 100 over the 200. Pretty cool to see those back to back. You'll never see another Cypress car like that. But all right, so let's fire it up. And all right, so I already had it plugged up, as you can see, and it has come up. And as we see, there is no powertrain DTCs or frame phrase data that is stored or pending in the vehicle's computer. We do see all 8 monitors are ready to be tested. There is one monitor, the EVAP monitor, that's flashing, and that's due to we had the hood and the bumper painted, and when they did that work, they disconnected the battery. So the car just hasn't been through the proper drive cycle, but the important part is seeing that there's no stored data here. So if there was a check engine light related to something EVAP related, and I had just reset the light or someone else had just reset the light, we would see in here that there was stored data for previous codes, but we can clearly see there is no codes. So there's no issues with the car. It just needs to continue going through its drive cycle, and I haven't been able to do that, and hopefully I will before it sells. All right, so with all that being said, we are in the neutral. So we'll take a look at the suspension here. We are in the neutral position for the active height control. So we're going to bump this thing up to high. And as you see, it will start flashing as it's doing. The rear is lifting. Let's see if we can see it. The front's coming up. You can kind of see the steering wheel moving with the body of the car. But nonetheless, there we are in high. So let's take a look at it. And that's what it looks like in high. It looks like it should be crawling all over something. So while it's in this position, I'm going to show off the undercarriage so we don't have to do that again. We'll go over the lights here in just a second. Sorry, let's back up here. Great shot of it. Everything looks fantastic. There's no rust under this car. This car was really well cared for, and based on the body, which I'll show off here in just a minute, this car was absolutely garage kept. Just the front was eaten up with Florida love bugs, so that's why we had to paint what we painted. And again, we'll go over all that when I get it outside. Look how nice all of that looks. Beautiful guts, bones, whatever you call it. There's a nice shot down the side of it. Brand new spare. Doesn't look like it's ever been down. Trying to manipulate. Come on, Mr. Gimbal, don't do that. Sorry guys, bear with me here. I'm trying to get this flat so you can See this diff better? Oh Lord. Now I really did it. Really nice and clean, rust-free car. That's how you want them. All right, so let's drop her down to low. So again, there we are in the high position. Just gonna bump it down. 200s lower much faster than the 100s. As you see, we are almost probably already in low. Yep, we're already, well, no, not quite. There we go, we're in low. And there you go. Just a little bit of a difference compared to the high setting, huh? See if I can zoom in here. Yeah, so there we go. While the lights are on, we'll go ahead and take a walk around the back. As you can see, we have two working taillights. We have two working LED license plate lights and two working tail lights over here. Going back to the front, like we just saw a minute ago, headlights and fog lights, both running lights, are all on. So we have HID headlights, LED running lights, halogen fog lights. You don't get the LED fog lights until 2014. Let me flip on the bright lights. Fog lights off, bright lights on. We all know how that works. So left side blinker, let's make sure everything works out here. There's our blinker. Blinker in the mirror, doing what it's supposed to do. Blinker back here, looks fantastic. Right side blinker, doing what it's supposed to do. The mirror looks good, and right side blinker up front. So everything looks good there. Undercarriage looks great. We went over the monitors, lights all work. So let's get this thing outside, and I'm excited to show this thing off. All right, so here we are outside with it, and we will start on the roof. Might be a little shadows today, it's a little sunny. Normally I'm doing these earlier in the morning when there is not much sun on this side of the building, but I don't have a choice today. So, as we see on the roof, everything looks great. There's no damage, no dents, no anything kind of going on up here. Everything looks great. Roof rack's in really good condition, and nothing to really complain about up there. Let's take a look under the bonnet. As we know, we have all our plastic armor, which there's not much you can do about that unless you just want to take it off and keep it off. But everything's intact the way it should. Everything sounds really nice. All of our factory stickers, our hood pad looks great. This car does have factory remote start. We'll go over that here in a bit. So now on to what we did to the car. So as I mentioned a few minutes ago, you know, black when it's in this state looks awesome. I know me personally, I'm way too OCD for black. But this is a black car I would own. This car has been really well cared for. Again, going back to the maps that I showed you guys a minute ago, this car clearly sat in a garage, but it did have the traditional from Florida bug damage on the bumper, on the hood, on the mirrors. So we went ahead and took care of all of that. So everything up front is freshly painted and it looks awesome. As you can see, kind of going across the bumper right here, everything looks fantastic. And now it's going to be up to the new owner just to keep it that way. So no issues up here, no touch up, nothing like that going on. Same thing with our hood. Everything is really looking really nice over here. As you can see, there's nothing to really show other than fresh black paint and a few little raindrops, which I'm getting nervous about, but we'll give it a minute. Really fighting the weather here this week in North Georgia. It's been crazy. But moving on to this headlight. Everything with the headlight looks really nice. Nothing really to complain about if you want to really nitpick. Right up here on the very top, very small, you're sort of starting to see a little bit of the heat stress that some of these lights will go through, but not anything major, not anything I would write home about. And you know, everything looks nice. Our grille right here is fully intact. This car does not have sensing cruise control, which in my opinion you want. That sensing cruise control can be a pain in the butt to deal with. Right here, we all know that the top of these 13, 14, 15s, the .2s, they will fade in hot climates. And so that's what we're showing right here. It's not terrible looking, and if you stand back even just a foot, you can see that it's not super noticeable unless you get right up on it. Front facing camera is intact and we don't have any damage on it. So it looks great. Driver's headlight, just like the passenger side. Again, if you want to nitpick, we do have some minor heat stress going on up here on the very top, right here on the edge. But again, very minor and not anything too crazy here. So again, there is not much to talk about condition wise on this car as far as touch-up goes. This car has very little touch-up all the way across it. Again, I know I've said it 4 or 5 times now. This car was very well cared for and it's very obvious. That is just a smudge, so let me get that off. As you see, rail looks awesome. Don't have any dents or anything crazy going on up here. This will be a great shot of it over here. All of our pillar looks great. Again, I did have these mirrors painted, so there's no touch up or anything going on with the mirrors. They look great. Our lens is not cracked, our turn signal lens. It looks fantastic. Look down the side of that car. Just really nice condition for a black car. Sorry, I'm having some zoom issues here. There we go.
There's really some really minor little spots you can see there that have been touched up. Really minor though, and they're really just on the top surface. All right, let's take a look at this wheel. These have never been painted. These are the original color, original everything with it. None of them are streaking or peeling or doing anything crazy, which is awesome. So everything looks great. There is one little minor curb mark right there on that edge, very minor. None of it got onto any of the spokes, which is important. And clearly it was done previous to these tires because there's no damage on the tires. Do have a set of really good condition Michelin Latitudes on here. The Latitudes drive fantastic. They're just not quite as long lasting as the Defender LTXs. Step bar is all in really good shape. All of our lower rocker, chrome trim, everything down there looks awesome. And I'm gonna try to find some touch-up to talk about, but I know I've already been over the car and there's just not a lot to show. Very, very, very minor little spot right there on the driver's door. And yep, there's one right here. Two little minor scratches on the rear door. And other than that, that's all I saw on the driver's side of the car. Here's our rear wheel, much like the front. This is the original finish. We don't have any streaking. These people were smart. They didn't spray anything crazy on the wheels. And again, if you want to nitpick, there is one little spot right here. And there's one spot right here. Again, no damage on the spokes or anything like that, which is most important. Everything looks really nice. Same Michelin Latitudes back here, plenty of life left. Really clean black car. I could own this car. If I could start with a car that's in this condition, I could probably maintain it over time. My OCD would drive me crazy, but this is kind of the example that you'd want to start with. All right, so back here, really nothing to talk about on this rear bumper either. Everything looks great. Both of our lower lift gate or lower tailgate and the upper lift gate are in perfect condition. There's no damage, no touch up, no nothing going on back here with these. Again, I can't overstate, for a black car, this car is really, really nice. Hence why I bought it. Let's see what we got going on back here. All of our factory stickers where they're supposed to be. All of our trim looks really nice here. The jamb for the door. The old parchment interior. All right, so we're looking at our seam seal and everything looks fantastic. All right down through here on the bottom of this door. Our lower liftgate bolts all look really nice. Seam seal matches the other side. I'm gonna look right in here and make sure all of our bumper clips look normal and original, which they do. We're gonna work our way up the quarter panel. We got some factory spot welds here and here. Got a couple more right up here, as you can see. None of our bolts have been turned on the upper lift gate, and these are just things I'm looking at for signs of paint work. I've already done this previous, but this is just for the video. We can see our spot welds coming down. Very important to see those. And coming back down to our bumper fitment and our clips, everything's intact. Everything looks great. I don't see anything to be concerned with. Storage and a wheel lock. And as we know, the other side is going to be our toolkit. I'm not going to take it out. I have pictures of it already, and I think you guys just saw it a second ago. Factory cargo mat is in fantastic condition. No staining, no weirdness, no craziness going on here. See what the carpet looks like underneath, and it looks much like the cargo. This car has very little use in the back of it, the cargo or the middle row seats. And you know, again, my suspicion is, knowing the area of Florida this car was, I'm assuming it was an older, probably retired couple, maybe some snowbirds that moved down to Florida, and so that's why you didn't get a lot of use here. Bottom of our left rear third row seat is almost perfect. Headliner, all of our, look how nice the seat belts look. This does not look like a 160,000 mile car. Typically, most people do not care. Most people do not care for their cars like this. Right rear seat, bottom, looks fantastic. Back of our second row looks great. We don't have all our crazy indentions going on. I mean, there's just not much to talk about with this car. Go ahead and cycle these seats for you. I'm going to put them up so you can see they do go up and down, and then I'm going to put them back down and pull the seats up so we can take a look at those. Back of the third row looks awesome. Starting to feel some raindrops, so we are gonna move this inside pretty quickly. Yeah, starting to see a lot of raindrops, so we will continue this here in just a minute. All right, so here we are about an hour later. As you can see, we got a little wet out here, so I had to let that little shower pass, but here we are onto the passenger side. This will be a cool shot. Kind of looking for dents or waves or anything unusual. There's a body line that you see, but in the middle of the panels, it's kind of what we're looking for there. Our rail looks nice. No dents, no damage, nothing going on up there. There is a little bit of touch up here, here. And I think there's two other spots right here on that pillar. Other than that, everything looks awesome. Still getting some sprinkles, even though the storm has passed. So this side's going to be much like the other as far as overall condition. Not really anything to say about this. Over here, again, not a lot of touch up on this car to begin with. And we will we'll take a look right here at this quarter panel. There's two little small spots right here, so you can see a little bit of a dent right there. That dent is so close, I'm trying to get a clear shot, there you go, to this actual edge of where the panel itself rolls. There's nowhere to get, this is hollow back here, so there's nowhere to get a tool in here because it's right here on this edge to try to push that thing out. So it's very, as you can see, it's very small, but obviously it is there, and just want to make that everybody aware of that. But that's a good representation. I'll kind of walk back and forth, and you're really just looking for a dent or a wave, and as you can see, it's fairly hard to see. But those dents, and even here on the dog leg, if you get dents on this dog leg, a lot of times they can be really hard to get out. So just want to showcase that off real quick. Let's take a look at this rear wheel. Much like the other side, really good condition. These have not been painted either over here on this passenger side, but you can see where there is some kind of imperfection right here. Kind of runs right here, and then over here on this side right here, it's not any curbing or anything, but just some kind of, maybe from a tire machine or something like that over the years. Very minor, but that's there. There's our latitude, standing tall. Step bar, lower rocker, everything down here looks awesome. All of our chrome trim looks nice. Look how nice the panel looks. Right here on this rear door, there's a little touch up right there. One on the dog leg. Very minor. A couple little spots right here in the middle of the door. You can see my finger size for reference. And then when we get right here to this front fender, you've got a moderate size spot right there, spot right here on the top of the fender, and just a few down here towards the bottom. Again, the bumper's been painted. Sorry, I'm just trying to wipe these smears off so you can better see it. So yeah, that's really all there is to talk about on this side of the car. We're gonna hit that front wheel. Again, this mirror over here was painted, so there's not anything going on here. Our lens looks perfect. Camera underneath is clear and good to go. All right, so here's this front wheel. And this one's obviously, as you can see, the best overall condition one, I would say. There's not anything going on with this wheel at all. Sorry for the honking patrons. And our latitudes. I wanted to show one thing, the top of the spoiler. Great condition. All right, day 2.5 of filming for this LX. Let's get going on this interior before it rains again for the third day in a row. So we're gonna start looking at this door panel. Guys, you know I have a thing against damage coming along the edge of these LXs and Land Cruisers. Everything looks really nice here. We don't have any damage, any previous repair, anything like that going on. Our armrest, our door pull, everything looks really nice. The wood's all really nice. No cracking, no peeling, no lifting, no nothing going on here. And look how nice you know, on this parchment interior, it's going to show a lot if you don't keep it clean. And look how nice everything is down here. No scuff marks from people getting in and out of the car. Just really well taken care of inside and out on this LX. Similar to the outside, the inside is much like the outside as far as overall condition. Look how nice our kick plate, the sill plate is itself, all the carpet down here, seat plastic, everything is just really nice and very little wear, as you can see here. The seat does go forward, does come back, and does recline, and it does come back up. Look how nice the side of the console is here. No marks at all from the seatbelt itself. Our armrest, or the upper console, looks fantastic. Everything down here in this area, you know, this area and the glove box oftentimes will get scratched and gouged and whatnot. Look how nice the glove box looks. Nothing going on there other than the book inside. All of our wood up here looks really nice. We don't have any lifting. All of our trim up here looks really nice. If you really want to nitpick, there's a few little tiny spots you can see right there, but very, very minor. Let me pull these up real quick. Carpet is nice and clean under there. You can really get an idea of the original. So you do have some fading going on. You can see where the mat has been down the life of the car. You can see naturally, just as time goes on, what the carpet does in changing colors. I'll just leave that right there for right now. Since there's no water on the ground, look how nice this car is. I know I've already done this, but the side of this car looks wet. I'm telling you guys, I'm not just saying this. I could own this black car. Coming here, our door panel edges. There is one little repair that someone did at some point in time. It looks fine. There's no damage or anything there anymore, but you can see where the repair was. Other than that, this door panel is going to be much like the front one. There's one little indentation right there. You know, all these panels have like a foam backing, including the backs of the seats, which, you know, I've already shown. And that's kind of what you'll see from time to time. Armrest looks great. Look how nice our pull looks. Same thing with the wood back here. And the top of the door panel, just really nice car, really nice clean car. Some cars, for whatever reason, when you see enough of them, you just get a good idea of cars that are worn. Doesn't mean they're not nice and they can't clean up, whatever, but you just get a good idea of cars that have been worn a little more than others. And this car has not been very worn at all. There is one gouge here in this jamb from where somebody obviously left the seatbelt in the jamb when they tried to shut the door. There is no dent, but it has been touched up. Other than that, our sill plate, our kick plate, all of our carpet down here, the step to get into the third row, all looks fantastic. Look how nice our seatbelts look. These seatbelts are nearly impossible to clean when they get dirty on this parchment interior, and genuinely nothing to say about these seatbelts on this car. Look how nice this rear seat is. I mean, it doesn't show really anywhere at all. Let's take a look at the third row while they're up. We do have our classic seatbelt indentions on both seats from where the seats will stay folded up. That is very normal to see, and I know a lot of you guys know that. Other than that, they look brand new. Headliner, like the rest of the interiors, in fantastic shape. Here's the back of our right rear seat. Look how nice all this is. This is another one of those sections that will get dented up because it's got like a foam backing, but we don't have anything to really talk about here. Let me fold this up so you can see the carpet underneath. Look how nice our carpet is right here. And the bottom of the right rear seat looking good, everything intact. Seat does slide forward, and it does come back. Carpet underneath back here looks nice. Third row DVD on and doing what it's supposed to do. Back of our passenger seat looks perfect. This right here, I've meant to take this off like 5 times. For whatever reason, I've forgotten like 5 times. So you can see nothing hiding behind the seatbelt. Actually, it's pretty nice because it protected the seatbelt. Okay. That's a cool view. So our rear console, everything is intact. Our volume buttons, all of our jacks are intact. Our door does open and close as it should. Everything works as it should back here. Our registers are both good to go, not broken. Yeah, just really clean, nice car. Let's go back to the cargo real quick. I know I've showcased this once. But I think it started raining when I did this again, so I won't feel as rushed. Back of these seats back here, everything looks fantastic, almost on the new side of things. Here is our headrest that goes right here, sleeping. Cycle these up one more time. If I can get my fingers on the button. Really nice condition, this car. I love this look. The classic Land Cruiser look. All right, let me spin it around. We'll do the driver's side. All right, so here's our left rear door panel. One little spot that's been, I don't think that's been repaired. It's just kind of a nick right there. Other than that, everything looks awesome. Again, look how nice everything is down here. No scuffs, no damage, nothing going on. And just like the rest, all of this looks really nice. Our pull looks really nice. The wood grain is not cracking, not peeling, nothing going on there. How nice our jam looks, everything down in here. No seatbelt marks. All of our step, kick plate, all looks really nice. One little spot right here. Not anything crazy, but seat does go forward and does come all the way back. There's our carpet. And the bottom of the seat all looks nice. Here's the back of this seat. One little small minor dent right there. But again, other than that, not much to talk about on this car. Again, let's look at these seat belts. They look new. Very little use back here. It's very evident. No child seat marks or anything like that going on. Carpet on the left rear, all looks good. Back of the driver's seat looks awesome. DVD is fired up, ready for a DVD. One of these days I'm going to remember and make a reminder to bring a DVD so that we can throw it in there. But these cars are pretty good. When there's issues with the DVD, they won't turn on at all. And that's very rare for that for you to see that. I've only seen that in maybe one or two over the years, maybe. Driver's door panel looks awesome. One small little nick right there, but nothing on the edge. And again, you got one little scuff on that speaker cover right there. I've tried to get it off, it's not coming off. So outside of that, it's perfect. No damage, nothing going on. Look how nice our armrest, just like the rest of the door panels. Our pull looks. No separating or lifting going on here around the memory seats, which, as we know, they will do. Well, let me back up here. Look how nice our jam is here as well. Kick plate all looks fantastic. All our carpet down here looks great. We don't have any holes going on right here, which that will happen on these cars, Land Cruiser or LX. Seat does go forward and it does come back, and it does recline, and it does come back up. Awesome condition. How nice our seatbelt looks. Side of the console, no marring, no gouging. Stickers still fully intact. Top of our console looks new. See if I can get this floor mat up for you guys. There's our driver's carpet. looking good. These are brand new all-weather Lexus mats, as you can see clearly. Let's hop in this bad boy. And I'm going to show off that the console works as it should. Nice and cold already on the cool box, which works in conjunction with the air conditioning if you didn't know that. Cup holder that's slow to open, which every single LX570 ever made is going to do that. They just don't open fast. But everything intact, dividers intact. Look how nice all of this is, not scratched up, nothing going on there. All of our center stack right here. Look how nice everything looks. Just really well cared for. This door, which you will see this from time to time, does not stay closed. What you do is you would get a piece of Velcro and just attach it here and here, and that would secure it shut. But I'm not going to do that for the video. I'm going to let somebody else do that. But that's what you would do. Auxiliary and USB, and obviously our 12 volt. But again, look how nice all the wood is on both sides. You know, people tend to throw their stuff all in this area, and just looks awesome. So the ventilated seats are both on, as you can see. We'll bust it over to heat real quick and then go back to cool because it's hot and humid right now. We're into July, dog days are approaching. So everything looks nice there. Very neutral smell in this car, as you can see. Cigarette lighter's never been used, and that ashtray's never been used. Same thing here. Look how nice the radio and everything looks. All right, let's fire up this climate control. And we can go up on temperature. Right now I have the 4-zone off, so I'm in control of the temperature. So everything is cool there. Works as it should. Front defrost comes on. Rear defrost. And as we said, the rear is already on. So everything's cool there. Audio. I'm going to turn this up briefly.
Local stores, Duluth, Alpharetta, or Kennesaw. Shane Company.
So everything works there as it should. We can toggle through different stations. And again, I'm not going to turn this up. I do not want copyright infringement. I think the satellite's active on this car. It is. You can see my favorite stations on. So rest assured, I have spent some time in this car. Everything works regarding the radio. We're going to go ahead and turn the rear DVD off. And then we will come back here. We'll hit AM. And we can also go through the stations on with the knob itself, as I'm doing. Navigation, so everything's cool with the radio. We will zoom out a couple times. Yeah, we know. Whoa. So destination, info, setup, go through, have all kinds of different settings that you can mess with, colors, yada yada yada. Most of you know the drill here. So everything works normally as it should there. And I'm going to do the sunroof. Sunroof's obviously up. We're going to tilt it down, and then I'm going to open it. Coming back closed. Backup camera. Looking nice. Nice and clear. And we're going to show the front-facing camera. There's our seatbelt thing. As you can see, everything looks good there. You got the right side camera on the building. You can flip over here just to the front, just to the right front, and then front rear again. So everything working properly there. Steering wheel does come up, does come down, does come out to me, and does go back in. So both mirrors are out right now, as you can see, as far as folded out. So we're going to fold them in. As you can see, fold it in. We're going to fold it back out. And we're going to move the mirror down, out, up, back in. Down, out, up, and back in. Heated steering wheel does come on. AFS, this is for your automatic headlights that swivel at night and then traction control off. No reason to turn that off, and I'm definitely not going to be spraying the headlights right now. Horn, yep, it works. Left blinker, right blinker, we already know this for the most part. Hazards. And you can watch the display where it's 0 miles an hour. I can toggle through my different settings, check everything out, yada yada. I like it on the digital speedometer. Let me make sure I'm not forgetting anything before we engage for low. I think we're good. But again, overall condition on the inside of this car is superb. Very well done. Oh, let me move up the windshield wipers. I'm not going to spray them, but get the idea there. All right, so we are in drive, and our park assist is the only light that's on. That's for when you're backing up and pulling forward. So we're going to go into neutral, and then I'm going to come over here. Just going to push down, and we're going to engage for low. What's cool about this car, as you see, we are in for low. This car, really, you can feel going in and out, which of for low, which indicates to me that that was somebody who routinely engaged for low, which is awesome. So I'm going to go back to high. As you can see, the multi-terrain select categories right there, mogul, loose rock, whatnot. You can all select and go through these as you want. I'm not going to go into different ones, but let's get back out into 4 high. I don't know if y'all could hear that, but it's nice. This thing has been routinely gone in and out of the 4 low. So let me turn this thing around, and let's take it for a spin before we get rained on. All right, and here we go. One thing I failed to mention a second ago was the steering wheel. Nothing wrong with it. I just wanted to mention that. I know I didn't really go over it. Look how nice everything looks. All of our buttons, no peeling, no discoloration anywhere, no fading, nothing going on with our emblem right here, which you can see from time to time. And the wood grain on the steering wheel is in great condition. There is one little imperfection, we will call it, and I'll show you that here in 1 second. Actually, I'm gonna go, I'll show that in just a minute. So we're gonna be listening for drivetrain, wheel bearing, any odd noises. Steering wheel nice and smooth. Car track's nice and straight. Gonna get on the brakes here, so we'll pay attention to the steering wheel. Everything feels awesome. As you see, there's no movement on the steering wheel. Just a really nice overall, really nice car. And again, you're going to want to pay attention to the service history on this car because it is really, really detailed. Nice and quiet. Look how straight the steering wheel is. We don't have any movement. I'm going to come on to the brakes here. Steering wheel is not moving and very straight other than me turning it. Park right on the seatbelt guide. All right, so we're going to shut it off. And we'll do our last two things as always. So we are going to check for two things: door lock actuators that are not working, which there's not going to be a way for us to pull door handles. So what we're going to do is lock it, and we're going to listen for the lock feedback, the Toyota lock feedback. If you get that feedback, then you know there are no actuators that are not working. If you lock it and you see the car flash and you do not get any feedback, then you know you've got an actuator out somewhere. And the way you would tell is then you would just get in the car, see what doors are locked, and whichever ones are not locked obviously are the ones that need an actuator. So let's go ahead and lock it. Most importantly, let's listen for the feedback. So there we go. We don't have any actuator issues, so we know that. Normally on a car that is not keyless entry, I can go up to the door handles, pull the door handles, and whichever door is unlocked is obviously the one or multiple that need it. So let's showcase this factory remote start. It is factory. So we're going to hit lock 3 times, and on the 3rd time we're going to hold it. There's our feedback. And there you go. So one thing to note that sucks about Toyota's factory remote start: when you go to open the door, it shuts off. Why, I don't know, but that's just what it does. Now, we can also shut it off by holding the lock button. There we go. So that's it, guys. This one's been a journey for me. It's taken 2.5 days to get this video done, and I think it was because I was so excited to showcase this car. I can't overstate how nice this car is inside and out. I hope this video has done it justice. I feel a little stressed, being that I had to do this on multiple days, and that's not something I routinely do. So I hope I didn't miss anything. If I did, please let me know in the comments, or feel free to reach out, chris@hilsonluxury.com, or you can reach me anytime at 678-454-6060. And again, I look forward to working with one of you on this super clean, high value 200 series LX570.